Grow, Sell, and Retire is a podcast for aspirational entrepreneurs and inspirational business owners who want to work less, earn more, and even more importantly, have an awesome time while doing it. Your host, B.D. Dalton, author of True Gravity, is here to give you the systems, processes, and actions for you to create the wealth that you've always dreamt about. Get your pencil, paper, and brain ready for secrets and top tips from his 25 years of experience in helping people build wealth. Here's your host, B.D. Dalton.
Welcome to Grow, Sell, and Retire. I'm B.D. Dalton, and I want to talk to you today about, actually it's a crossover, a grow and sell strategy. Today's episode's talking about Death of the Rainmaker. Well, that reminds me of one of the plays that I saw when I was in high school called Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. I'm sure a lot of you have read this or looked at it. And it was Willie Loman had such a struggle throughout his life, trying to get to the top, trying to live a lie of being a great salesman, but never being able to move himself forward and always living in the same death spiral of sale not going through, never getting ahead. But guess what? I'm going to give you the opposite of that. I'm sure that listening to this podcast is taking you to the next level. And what I want to make sure that you do is that instead of the death of the salesman, this is the death of the rainmaker. So the rainmaker in our businesses, we become the thing or the person typically that took this business to a whole new level. We're the person that took this forward. We've grown it. And we're the person that's going to sell it, whether it's selling it on a daily basis in the fact that we're selling products, but also we're going to be probably the ones that sell it as one of the partners, one of the shareholders that's going to reap the benefit of this and going to be able to retire off of all this success. But the problem is that if the business is just us or just our names, our name over the door, unless it's an amazing name or it can only be remembered for you, we have to make sure that we're taking the rainmaker or the key man out of the scenario. And I'm going to give you some tips and secrets and actions that are going to make it so that you can make your business more valuable very, very rapidly. So Grow, Sell, and Retire is all about a podcast that makes sure that you have the tools, the systems, the processes, and the actions to make your business very successful very rapidly. Because you already know, how to do what you're doing, whether it's making widgets or providing a great service or doing something on the internet. It's something that you already have innately in you. But when we're building the business and moving it towards that sale in the future, we need to make sure that we're building it so that we can retire. And retire doesn't mean I'm going to stop working. It just means retire from this business and move on to the next one. So the things we need to start doing today are building systems. People will buy systems from you. If they're buying just you and your contacts or you and your team's contacts only, those things will go away. Those relationships will go away because what happens if the people that buy your business aren't like you at all? That's going to make it very difficult for them to continue the business. And when you sell a business, a lot of times, and not trying to teach granny to suck eggs, but you sell it with warranties. And those warranties say that if these amount of clients or this amount of turnover goes down, then you're not going to get the full amount of money that you asked for when you originally sold, because they bought it from you on the goodwill that it's going to go forward in the same way or even better than when they bought it. So when you had it. So we got to build systems. We've got to build teams using those systems, our teams, the teams that work for you. And it doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be a team instead of you getting rid of the rainmaker and creating a team scenario. And the very last thing is you've got the systems out there, you've got the teams, and then it's the processes to use those systems to make sure that you can work your way when you are not there. And one of those main systems that I want you to put in place and to look at is your succession plan. Your succession plan is the way that you have to make it so that you're not the only person that's standing there with your name over the door, the only person that's going to the main sales meetings, the only person that people will listen to in a board meeting or in a sales meeting. You need to move away from that. So here are some secrets or some tips and actually some actions that we can put our hands on and make sure that they happen. So the first one is you need to very soon hand off a mission critical task, one at a time, starting at the bottom up. And what I mean by that is, I don't want you to hand away the most important thing in the business to your team and have them practice a system out, something that will go away. So handling your number one account, I wouldn't suggest handing that off today. But if you could work your way up, and if you've got 20 top clients, then let's hand number 20 and number 19 off to somebody else completely. Make sure that they get the opportunity to start to build up and cut their teeth on the level of customer service or the level of knowledge that you've had this whole time. Let's make sure that they have the ability or the opportunity to step into that role. Because when you hand this off to them, this mission critical activity, then it'll make sure that you can test them out. And if they screw it up, you'll be able to step back in. But you have to know that they are going to make a couple of errors. And what those errors do for you is allow you to hone your processes and your systems to make sure that if you can say, well, that's not the way I would have done it, then let's teach them the way you would have done it. You need to step out from being the rainmaker, your name over the door, and start to make it so that other people can step in. So here's the next one, and you'll like this. It's hard for some people to do, but I want you to time block. Starting very soon, so let's say next week, I want you to time block 2 afternoons out. What I want you to do with those afternoons is I want you to do one of two things. I either want you to start building a new business line, as in a new product line or another contact or something else that's aside from the people that you already know so that your team can start handling them. Or even better, let's do something for yourself. Have you wanted to spend more time with your kids? Have you wanted to do some golf? Have you wanted to make sure you maybe lose a couple of those extra pounds that you might have put on during Christmas or since you've gotten over the age of 40, like I have? You want to make sure that you're doing something for yourself. 2 afternoons next week. I want you to block them in. I want you to make sure that you're out. If you're already on holiday, then it's already, don't worry about it. But if you're not, then let's make sure that you've got 2 half days next week in the afternoon that you're out of the office. The next one is, I want you to start building. So we've had number 1, which is handing off mission critical activities. Number 2, giving yourself 2 half days off. The next one is, I want you to build a sales system. Building a sales system sounds really, really tricky. What I want you to do is when you think through your sales process, I want you to write down how you would call somebody, how many times you would call them, what you would call them about, how you keep up on your overall interactions with your good clients. It's going to take you a while, but this is one of those things where you need to say, if you went into a sales meeting, that your team would sell almost as good as you do. Because the more things that they can sell off of a system, then the better off your whole business will be and the more valuable it'll be. Because we want to make sure that we're killing off that rainmaker. We want to take you out of the business. Because the thing I'm going to challenge you to do over time is I want you to work 1 less day a week. Then I want you to work 1 less week a month. And then guess what? Besides just going on holiday, your goal should be, besides holiday, to work 1 less month a year in this business. So if you still want to work because you love it and you love to work in businesses, I want you to figure out another thing to do, another business, another charity, something else that you can do either for you, for your family, or for your wealth and your empire so that you can grow, sell, and retire prosperfully. Wow, that's a big word. If I could learn how to speak, that'd be great. But so you can do it with purpose and prosperity. But the last one, and this is a hard one to do for some people, is I want you to start giving credit. And I want you to start spreading the love so that when a call comes in where the people are asking specifically for you, especially for things that your team can work on, I want you to make sure that you're telling those clients, actually, you know what? I don't deal with that. I'm going to pass you back over to Bill, and Bill's going to handle that because he can do this much better than I can. Guess what? I'm not the person that does that. I control it all, and my name's over the door, but I want to make sure it gets done right. So let me pass you back over to Joanne, and she'll get this sorted for you. So stop being the rainmaker. Stop worrying about your title and start using your team, your systems, your processes to make sure that you can start to step away from your business. This will give you two different things. One, it will increase the value, the enterprise value, what you could sell your business for today or the income that you could have off it when you weren't there. But the second thing it'll do is allow you more time to focus on your business and not in your business. There's nothing worse than you get your planning, and I don't know if you've done this before, but I have, is in your diary, it says, let's meet with business partners. So let's meet with Rob and let's go through and do this, this, and this. Talk about planning, talk about strategy, a board meeting, whatever it is. But it doesn't happen because something else gets in the way. A client problem, something with the team, they can't do it. The computers go down, your phone's down, something is always going to get in the way. But this is so important that you make sure that you're really working hard at it so that it doesn't happen to you. We want to kill the rainmaker. That doesn't mean, well, yeah, we can go out and get some Keyman insurance on you or some life insurance. But in general, we want to kill that idea of the rainmaker. Your name over the door, and none of actually BD Bart Dalton Consulting is a bad name because definitely it's about me. And that's not, we need to move away from that whole thing. So when you're calling into the office and you get a Michelle or you get Sam or you get somebody else that's picking up the phone, they need to start being more and more integral in the relationships with you, because that really starts to make it so that my business or your business starts to step out from under our limelight, starts to step out from under our rain cloud of generating business and starts making it so the business is actually worth even more. So remember that. We're going to hand off one of the mission critical things in your business. Mission critical means that you wouldn't make money tomorrow if you weren't doing this. So you need to hand off one of those lower level mission critical items to somebody else in your team. If you don't have a team, start figuring out how to build a team. Because if your business is just you and it's not just some sort of intellectual property, some bit of software, anything like that, if it's just you and you're a salesperson, then your business is not as valuable as you think it is. The second thing is, and this is the one, take 2 afternoons off next week. 2 afternoons off and do something for you. If you're already doing that, take off 2 more, or at least throw in 1 extra one, because I tell you what, the more condensed you can make your week, the better off you're going to be. Build a sales system. The last one is start giving credit and start spreading the love, making sure that the things are passed around your team. So really, we're trying to get rid of the rainmaker so that we can grow, we can sell, and we can retire. There's a lot of things out there. There's other podcasts. Make sure you're going back through those. You can get True Gravity, the book, off of bartdaltonconsulting.com. Bad name, I know, of the company because it's very contradictory to what we're talking about today. If you want to join me in Madrid in October, unless you're listening to this afterwards, I'd love to have you there. If you want to know about next year's trip to Madrid, you can ask me about that too. Mission Control. And if you want your team or you want things on a regular basis, Space Camp is coming in September. So if you're listening to this later, go look up Space Camp, sc.bartdaltonconsulting.com. So looking forward to giving you more information on how to grow, how to sell, and how to retire. And that sell could either be your business or sell more products for you. So I'm BD Dalton, and I'd love to work with you and your team. So hear you next week or next time on Grow, Sell, and Retire. Coming up soon, I've got some great interviews, so start listening for those. And I've also got a rapid fire session or two coming up. We'll get to those, but have a great time. Enjoy your day and go forth and be prosperous.
Thanks for joining us on Grow, Sell, and Retire. For more information, tools, or to book one of our team members to work with your team, business, or to speak at your event or conference, visit bartdaltonconsulting.com or email contact@bartdaltonconsulting.com. Buy the book True Gravity on Amazon. If you want to work for the rest of your life, that is your business. If you don't, that is ours.